Good evening and welcome to another Harmonic scanner training session. For those of you that were there Saturday, I hear it was a great event. Unfortunately, I was on my way and my car had other ideas. I think it was the heat. But anyway, I didn't make it. So I'm going to go through Saturday's training that I had lined up. I'm going to do that tonight. And I'm recording it so the people that were there Saturday that I unfortunately didn't get to attend, they can see what I had planned for them. So I'm going to kick off the session now. And as I've said all the way along, if you've got any questions as I go through this, please do jump in. So I'm going to share my screen. Just let me know if you can see the screen in a moment. You should all be able to see my screen. Just drop a 1 in the chat if you can see that clearly. Just let me know that you can see. And let's kick off. So, nice one. So just to get a temperature check of the people on the call, just put in the chat a number of months that you've been in the academy. So 6 months, 6, 18 months, you know, for 18 months. I just want to know who's on the call. Tailor it a little bit to your experience. 11 months, we've got the anniversary coming up. Good man. Haley, 1 month, amazing. All right, cool. So tonight's call, to be honest, I'm going to go into a bit of detail on how I trade, because one of the biggest things for me when I joined the academy, the most inspiring thing that I heard was when one of the students from the academy, so not one of the educators on Go Live, one of the funded traders on the trading floor did a presentation like this, and I could hear the knowledge in him, and he got it all from this wonderful academy. So I hope what I go through tonight, if it goes over your head, please just take inspiration from it, because it's truly an amazing place. We've got an amazing academy full of amazing education and people. So let's start. Let's kick off. Okie doke. So I'm going to cover tonight. I'm going to introduce myself, explain my experience with the academy, with trading, but what I was doing before trading, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to then really hone in on mindset and 2 particular points when it comes to mindset, because sometimes mindset can be quite vague. Well, what does that mean? And I kind of got 2 very key points to get across, which I'll share with you on tonight's call. And then I'm literally going to show you exactly how I trade. So I'm going to show you step by step. I'm going to show you the charts. I'm going to show you from the scanner to trading view to entering to profits. I'm going to show you absolutely everything. That's where I want you to jump in, stop me, ask me questions, and we'll get as much value out of this as we can. All right. Wicked. All right. So before I started trading, I had a fairly varied career, but through mainly doing financial services. So things like financial advice, whether it was mortgages, protection, investments, pensions, that sort of realm. I also was a manager. I had I was a coach at one point, so I was just like looking at increasing people's performance, and that all was about communication and being relatable. I also ran a department, so I had like a team of advisors that were giving advice to current clients of the company. So pretty much all my experience was built up around how to communicate, how to train, how to manage, how to have systems, all that sort of stuff, which I've now been able to use in this experience too. But like anyone out there that's employed, I kind of hit a wall, and I was working so much and I was earning pretty good money, but I wasn't happy. Like, I was knackered. I kind of felt like I was earning and putting my heart and soul into something for the benefit, really, of someone else. So it all came to a head when my little boy, he's 7 now, and he was starting reception. And where I worked, I had to commute an hour in the morning and an hour after work. So working 9-5 was a really long day, and it meant that I couldn't take him to school. I couldn't pick him up from school. And that was kind of one pledge I had for myself. When I was a dad, I was going to be as involved as possible. And those little things, like his little face when I'm at school and he knows I'm there, like that's what life's about. It's not about working hard. It's about being happy. So when that time was approaching, I kind of felt the need to go off and, you know, take control a little bit of my diary, a bit like my time. Started my own business as an estate planner, which again combined all my experience in the past, but I just did it on my own and had many relationships with different advisors, and they were, you know, sharing leads, etc., etc. Learned a huge amount about myself in that time. I was able to do the school run, which was good, but every other day that I wasn't doing the school run, I was working like a dog. 10, 15-hour days, weekends, any spare minute, I was working. So I kind of just changed, I flipped the switch a little bit. I wasn't free, it just changed. So I had some happiness because I had, you know, the interaction with my little boy and stuff, but I was probably more stressed than I've ever been, like genuinely, like really, really stressed. Starting a business is not easy. And that then led me down a path to Des Amis. So I met Des Amis through my financial advice and financial services experience. And I remember the day that I went to meet Des. This is back in 2019. I think it was 18, 19. And I was going there to pitch in my new business. You know, I'm an estate planner, so I can help, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up signing up to IM. So he counter pitched me his idea, and I liked the sound of it. First time I joined IM, I wasn't really, I was too focused on my business to really focus on anything else. And looking back on it, that was kind of an excuse, to be honest. But for me, it didn't feel like the right time. And I kind of left shortly afterwards. But I always knew that there was something pretty special that Des had. And I'd seen the success, and I kind of wanted that. So go around another year, coming into the famous year of 2020, just before lockdown and COVID and all that launched into chaos. I joined again. So I joined at the end of March, early April, and that was the start of my story as a trader. So let me tell you a little bit about my experience in the academy. Like initially, I was introduced to Bryony. Bryony is an absolute godsend. Oh my days, like I wouldn't be where I am today without her. There's so many amazing people in this academy that just want you to win. So rare that my first impressions were amazing. You know, a great culture, loads of groups, they're all buzzing of life, loads of videos to get through. I've been sent a plan, I've been invited to Zoom calls. It was great. It was really, really good. But I don't want to fluff this in any way. Like I was there to learn how to trade. And you know, Bryony was like, do a vision board. And I was like, why? I don't get it. I wasn't coachable at all, apart about that side of thing. She was then saying, you know, do personal development, listen to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, listen to this, listen to that. Des has got it free on the website, like all this stuff. And I was like, I just want to trade. Like, show me the chart, show me the money. I was in a rush. So I got on through the videos. I was resistant with the vision board. I did it sort of notionally, just sort of, you know, put one together, sent it off to her so she stopped bugging me, pretty much. And wasn't really doing personal development. So jumped into the videos, loved it, absolutely loved it. 100, 200, 300 series, flew through that in about 2 days, making notes, going over them, jumped into Money's boot camp, and things started to change. So the boot camp, the level of difficulty jumped up. So it if you haven't gone through it, his boot camp goes through the 100, 200, and 300 just in more detail. And I kind of felt like a little bit out of my depth. I felt a little bit unsure if I was ever going to understand it. Some of the terminology, even like the words they use, I was like, what does that mean? And I kind of just thought, right, the way I've got to figure this out and get this right is I just need to keep watching it. I need to keep watching it. And that's kind of, it's no joke. I've watched this boot camp about 30 times, like pretty much every video, especially the fibs video. Oof, I watched that a lot. Then going on to the strategy videos, I've watched that countless times too. Like literally, I still watch them now. You know, every now and then I just have a little refresher. It's always, you're always going to be in a learning phase when it comes to trading. Like you never want to rest on your laurels. I then got on to go live all the time. I was watching educators and waiting for them to call trades, all that sort of stuff. All very, very promising. Really, really fun. Then, has anyone heard of the cycle of doom? If you have, drop an 8 in the chat. But this, oh my days, I was told, don't get trapped by this. And what did I do? Right, I found a strategy. I created a plan. I was trading it, getting some wins. I then suffered some losses. I dumped it, went to DeLorean. Bryony the whole time. Chris, what are you doing? Stay with Harmonics. Nope, not coachable. DeLorean, started trading, started losing, dumped it, gold cut. The cycle continues. Steady, smart money, kind of the same thing. Started losing. Then I came back to Harmonic, and that's when everything changed. It's kind of where I started off, and it's where I only give my attention is Harmonic. So you're on the right call if you are a Harmonic's king or queen. But just be aware of this, because as soon as you think, oh, I heard someone's doing really well with such and such. Oh, I heard someone's doing great with this. All the strategies work. All of these work. All right, there wouldn't be strategies if they didn't work. They have to be tried and tested and proven to work before they become a strategy. So they all work. The problem is it's you. And until you have that sort of realization, you can waste a lot of time. So going through the cycle of doom, I was like so frustrated. I was trying to compound my £1,000 account, and I was like, whoa, you know, I've done the compound calculator. In a year's time, I can have how many million? That is powerful. And I was thinking, you know, it's going to change everything. It's going to change my life. And what I realized I was doing is I was thinking about the money, not the growth of my account. So when you're compounding, you normally have a growth target of a certain percentage. So there were times where I was making £100 in a day, which is 10%, and I should have stopped, or I should have waited until tomorrow and waited for a good setup and then do it again. I was kind of winning, losing, winning, losing, losing, winning, and my £1,000 account was just sort of trickling up. It wasn't really doing much, and definitely not enough for me to go, I can do this full time. Our results were inconsistent. You know, I was on that sort of that cycle of doom in my own head of, oh my God, can I ever get this right? Like, can I make this work? I'd only been in the academy like 6 months. Like, you know, like you got to give it a chance. And I was very, very impatient. That was one of the things I kind of really had to humble myself with and go, right, stop. But the moment that made that happen for me is when Des did that presentation. Des did a presentation about funded accounts around October last year. And literally the percentage growth triggered in my head. Boom. Right, I made 10%. Instead of making £100, I can make £10,000. Like, that's going to make you sit up and pay attention. And that it did. Everything for me changed then. I kind of felt like not having the capital in my trading account led me to make so many errors. Yeah, I was over trading. I was looking for any trade that could go to profit. Well, you know, they could all go up or down. You know, I had no discipline whatsoever. And for me, the funded account thing was my trigger for me to take it really seriously. I then jumped on the phone with my team and said, look, guys, hope you're on that call. If you weren't, watch it. I think this is the future. I think this is where we'll be able to make a huge impact on people. And everyone, literally everyone I spoke to, I had about 15 in my team. Every single person I spoke to was like, yes, we're up for it. Let's do it. The excitement grew. It was great. We were in momentum. It was amazing. I then set up like my team structure to get everyone from like the basics to the practicing to being professional. And that was all great. It's working really, really well. And literally a year to the day of me joining, I became funded, which was one of my biggest goals of 2021, was I wanted a funded account. And I've got many goals, but that was a significant one. And since being funded, I've now got 5 traders in my team that have got funded accounts, 3 more in their tests, probably about another 5 doing their demo, so their free trial, and it's going really, really well. So I want to share some of the stuff I give them with you in this depth. So you might be thinking, and I was thinking, well, what did change? Like, how do you go from like frustration, almost like, you know, I wasn't sure in myself, my abilities. I was so determined, but I wasn't seeing the results. So how did I go from that to being funded? Funded for me was the thing, that was my goal. For you, it might be compounding your account. It might be making £200 a month, 500,000. It doesn't matter what the goal is. These things I'm about to show you are what make a difference for you to be successful in trading. It doesn't have to be funded. That was, like I said, that was what motivated me. So I before I was prepping for Saturday, I sort of cut back to, well, what was it? What were the things that I did that really made a difference to me? And I realized I had to master 3 skills. Skill number 1 is I needed to master market structure. Okay, if any of you have heard Manny, he always says trade with the trend. Yeah, always be trading in the direction of the market. So I thought, I'm going to need to know how to determine how a trend works. So his boot camp goes through the basics up to a fairly good level, like an intermediate level. He then has the scanner source, or the secret source, or whatever you want to call it. It's also known as pro entry now. He's got a scanner source and market structure video. Unbelievable, such a good video for market structure. Then if you want to go next level, like professional level, then he has a market geometry masterclass, which is a 15 video course. It's about 30 hours, probably about 25 hours actually, of him going through the most incredible training. And I've been through those, all of that, countless times, because I realized that if I'm going to be successful over and over again, I need to know a lot about how the market works. All right, so market structure, I needed to master that. Second is I needed to master my strategy. So many people that kind of know the strategy, but they don't know everything about it intimately. So again, with the scanner source, there's 3 videos where it's only 3 videos. Video 1 is very straightforward. It explains how the strategy works. 2 is with market structure, what I mentioned earlier. And the 3rd one is the scanner source with divergence. Unbelievable. So I've been over and over them in repetition for months. There's also something called a pro entry indicator masterclass. Okay, that explains exactly how the all the indicators work, and not just how they work, but why it's important to look out for certain things. What do the McGinleys mean? What does a doji mean on a Hikanachi candle? All these things where you can then, you start to level up, you start to then minimize mistakes, which is really, really key. And then third, which is quite funny, because I was very resistant to it to begin with, is I knew I had to master my mindset. Manny goes on about it all the time. Luke Longmire goes on about it all the time. Every educator, in fairness, goes on about it every single video I've watched. The DeLorean boys love mindset. They talk very, very deep about like the way you think and the power of your thoughts. But then Bryony, Des, literally everybody was telling me that, you know, you've got the theme is mindset, and I was like, right, this stuff's important. I need to master my mind. So personal development is absolutely key. Absolutely key. Like if you think about what's the average wage in the country, about £2 a month, something like that, 2.5. You know, if you're gonna do, for me, a funded account where you can earn 10 grand in a month, that's a huge jump. That's 4 times your a monthly average wage. A lot of people don't think they're worthy of that, and then they start to self-sabotage because subconsciously 10 grand a month to them, they're not worth it. So personal development, be the best version of you. It's not just about trading either. It will help your trading massively, but it will help you across all areas of your life. Definitely do personal development. If you want to be specific about trading mindset, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. I listened to that on audiobook, literally on loop, for months. Every time I went for a run, it was in my ears. Didn't listen to music. Nope. Right, I listened to Mark Douglas. Every time I listened to it, I picked up something else. He has YouTube classes as well, like 4 hours of this and that. Really, really good. It's all free on YouTube, obviously. And then if you really want to level up big time in every aspect of your life, then Kevin Trudeau, Your Wish is Your Command. It's on Spotify for free and on YouTube for free. It is a 15-hour, so 15 one-hour segments of a 2-day event that they held, and it's amazing. Again, I've listened to it over and over, made notes. Lots has changed since I had my mindset straight. So with those 3 things combined, that is what turned me from frustration into profit every day. Well, not every day, every month, week in, week out, growing the account. First of all, getting funded and then keeping it. Not easy to keep it. I think it's 80% of people lose their account in the first 2 months. Yeah, because they get excited. That's where the mindset stuff comes in. So it's really, 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 really important. Say really again. Okay, so a couple more things to go through on this. Then I'm going to jump into the charts, which is where I spend a lot of my time. So put an 8 in the chat box if you've heard that trading is 10% skill and 90% mindset. Who's heard that before? Trading is 10% skill, 90% mindset. I heard it a lot. I think arguably, depends how quickly you pick up the skill, but I think it's probably more 95-5 mindset to skill. But I think that for me, when I joined, because the education was all about trading, mainly about trading, I threw myself into that 5 to 10% fully. And once you learn the skill, it's, you know, you've got it down. It's then up to you to perform that skill repetitively without making errors. And that's where the mindset comes in. That's what will change you from being an amateur to a professional. And because of that, you may or may not know that 90% of traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. It's the 90-90-90 formula, which is why people say it's a scam. It's why people say trading doesn't work. And it's all based on one, get the right education, two, get the right mindset. The education we've got in IM is absolutely all you need from a skill-based point of view. Mindset, that's your journey. There's lots and lots of tips and tricks out there. Speak to your upline, speak to me or Bryony. I can give you as many books or things to listen to as you want. Literally, I've got loads, but you have to master your mind. It's absolutely important. So going from frustrated to funded, so I said about the 3 skills, but it does go a level deeper, which I'm going to go through you now. So first of all, you have to be consistent. So let me really hone in on this, because being consistent, again, is a bit woolly. Like, what does it mean? So if you think about the market and who moves the market makers, the banks, got the hedge funds, the huge institutions, you know, these massive corporations, you know, the big players that are making the price move. Yeah, we've got no control over that, have we? Zilch. We've also got no control over what news releases are going to do. You know, what announcements are going to be made that week, that month, that quarter. We've got no control over any of it. So when it comes to consistency in an environment that is massively inconsistent, the only thing that is going to bring you consistency is if you are consistent. You also have to be self-aware. You have to be honest. You have to do the dirty work to make sure that you can perform at your highest level. Well, I'm going to go into these 2 things in a bit more detail too, but I don't want you to miss these 2 key points. Like, if you do the same thing, if you're repeating the same exercise over and over and over again, you're going to get stronger. Yeah. But if you start exercising every part of your body, then every part of your body will get slightly stronger. If you want to be a master on the charts, you have to do it the same way every time you trade. And then when you do it wrong or when you do it right, you have to go back, see if there's any lessons, anything you missed. All right. So to become consistent, you need to have a trading plan. Again, what is a trading plan? Well, strategy is part of it. But let me tell you this, your scanner source strategy is just your entry. That's how you get in the market. It's not how you set the trade up. So my strategy is scanner source, that's for entry. But my trading plan includes my rules. So it includes, I only use the hot forex on the scanner. I only use the 1 hour patterns. I use a 15-minute entry. It has to be with a trend. And obviously my entry is scanner source. So I have this written down. I don't memorize it. I use a checklist every time I trade. I've also got some add-ons to that too, where I would prefer a trade with divergence and certain fib levels, which I'm going to show you. And also you need to really establish your risk profile. So this is something I did last week or 2 weeks ago, which is how much you're going to risk per trade and what is your minimum risk reward. So I did it on last week's call. So if you missed that, feel free to go back. But evidently you need to know before you enter the market, if you're wrong, how much you're going to lose. Yeah. All these funded accounts, or even if it's your own money, you don't want to lose your money. So you've got to take some losses, but they've got to be controlled. They've got to be in a way that you can set a trade and you're not anxious, because you know if it loses, it's £700 or it's £7. You know, it's not going to blow your account, or, you know, all these sorts of things. So determine your risk profile. Okay, now this next section is being self-aware, is journaling. But you have to be honest, like I mentioned earlier. If you're doing a journal and one of your questions on there is, are you trading with the trend? and you just put yes, you lose. You don't go back over the trade, see that you actually got the trend wrong. You're going to go nowhere. Okay, you're going to go nowhere. And these lessons you learn by going back will stick with you forever, because you'd have been so blinkered that you were right when you were in the trade initially. But then to see that actually you got it wrong, instead of having self-doubt, it creates self-belief, because you go, well, it looked like a downtrend, but it went up. And then you look back and you go, right, I missed that. It was an uptrend, there was a market structure reversal, whatever it was. And then you can go, I'm not going to do that again. Okay, so that's self-awareness. But most importantly is, did you stick to your rules? That means, did you wait for every single confirmation of your strategy to be ticked before you entered? All right, there's still people that I speak to that, it didn't hit the DC channel, but I entered anyway. Well, good luck. Like, you have to be rigidly disciplined. Let me jump to this next one, which is, in my journal, every time I trade, how did I feel before, during, and after? Right. Let's link this to mindset. Okay, you set a trade and you panic, and you're not sure how much you're going to lose if you're wrong. You want to win so bad, like we don't like losing. All these sorts of things happen, and that happens to you 10 times out of 20 trades where you set a trade and you panic. Now, all of those 10 trades go on to win. All right, make sure this is big. This is really big, what I'm about to say. Those 10 trades go on to win, and all those emotions you had about doubting yourself, pulling the trade, not sleeping at night, I don't know, whatever it is, you can then look back at your journal and go, well, I thought that 10 times and they all won. So none of those emotions are doing me any good. So the next time I feel that way, I know I can just trust myself, trust my trade. Right, please tell me you caught that, because trading with emotion is probably where the mindset is tested the most. Because if you're up and down all over the shop, then the decisions you make when you're trading, either before, during, and after, will be determined by the way you think. Yeah. So you lose a trade, right? I was selling, it's gone up, I'm going to buy it. It then starts dropping. Yeah, that's emotion. Emotion. You need to cut emotion out, and that's by journaling and being self-aware. All right. And that sneaks in at the bottom. Yeah, obviously review your journal often. I would do it probably every 2 weeks to start with, and then every month. Amazing. All right, so I thought it was quite important to go through these, actually, because what are the bad habits? So if these resonate with you, if you're doing these, then you may want to think about going back over what I've said before and going through it and starting your own program for self-development, mastering skills, whatever it is. But if you are in the sort of FOMO stage where you think, I'm missing out. Literally, my phone's ringing. You're on the phone. You're not even really concentrating. So the person that's on the other end, you're thinking, my trade is triggering. I'm losing money. But there will always be another trade. There will always be another opportunity. Entering trades without all your confirmations, like, yeah, it was good enough. It was good enough. You jump in a trade, rushing around, jump in a trade. You want to be chilled when you trade. I call it babysitting trades. You know, where you watch your phone, or you watch the charts, like willing it to go up or down. You don't want that. A big one, if you're happy or annoyed if you hit profit or stop loss. So people are always quite funny with this one. Now, it's quite natural to feel annoyed when you lose, because we've been ingrained from children that you know, you get prizes if you win, and okay, try your best and all that stuff. But you know, when you lose, you don't really feel good. You want to be the winner. But when you win, okay, the best traders, when they win, they feel exactly the same. If they win or lose, did I follow my rules? The only time they get annoyed is if they don't follow their rules. All right, so you should be a robot. Like your aim when you trade has X, Y, and Z happened? Yes. Hit the buttons, trade, go to the beach. You know, that should be your process. So all of those I call the no-go zone. If you're doing any of those things, you simply need to go back over those 3 skills that I told to master, and just honestly don't stop until you've got your headspace in the right place. Rhymes. Cool. Right, this is my last slide, and then I'm jumping in the charts. Okay. So these are really, really important, because whether you're in the academy for a month, 18 months, 2, 3, 4 years, these phases will literally go round in circles. So your mindset phases for trading specifically, number 1 is excitement. So you normally join the academy like I did, see all the action, see all the videos, see all the stuff that you can get involved in, and it's exciting. You know, there's lots of people being celebrated. You know, you just want to get in amongst it. The second mindset phase is self-doubt, and that is where dreams are shattered. Self-doubt is the killer of dreams. Okay, so when you get to that stage where you think, what on earth did he just say? What's a 618? What's a 1618 extension? Like, what's profit loss? Like, whatever it is for you. But if it's not going in, you think, I'm never going to get this. That's where, like, you're close to clicking that button to get out. When you push through self-doubt and you start having belief in yourself, so as things start to really change. All right, self-belief is where you know, you can creep back into excitement. All right, so just be aware. You can go from, oh, right, I get it. I get that bit now. Bang, I'm excited again. Right, I'm going to make tons of money. And then it doesn't work. Boom, you're in self-doubt. You come back in self-belief because you've done a bit more training. Boom, you go back to excitement. You know, you can stay in these 3 for a long, long time. And what I tend to see is a lot of people will rotate around these points until they hone their skills, until they are like a sniper, proficient, robotic, motionless trader, and then the magic happens when you eventually have faith. All right, when you have faith in your ability, faith in your skill, it's when it all changes. It's when all changes. All right, so just I want to say these because it was on a call with Manny, with Des. He went through these and it resonated with me so much because I felt all of them at some point, apart from faith, until I mastered those skills. And I thought, this is all I do now. This is my career. That I am a trader. I have faith and I know I can get better. So I want you to all sort of recognize these. When you have these thoughts and feelings, you're not alone, and you just got to keep pushing. And if you need support, you need help, I had Bryony, I had the other leaders in my leadership team that we lean on, we moan to, they pick us up, they shake us about, and then we get back to it. Like, we've all been there. So please use your network. Please use the people around you. All right? Because we all want everyone to succeed. Alrighty. So I'm going to jump in the charts now. Who's ready to see the charts in all their glory? Who is ready? Let's get going. All right. So I'm going to take you through the way I trade the scanner. So this is going to be quite deep, by the way. So if this is like over your head, like I mentioned at the start, there are some basic videos that Bryony's done in the past, and they've been recorded. So if you're wanting those, please do let us know, and we'll get them to you. But if anything, if this goes over your head, just listen to the amount that I've picked up in education from this academy in a year, because this will be you one day. All right, it's all doable. All right. So my first port of call is I load up the scanner. The Harmonic scanner is free on your package with FRX. It basically plots reversals in the market. All right. It basically says this market's done going down, it's going to now go up. Your job is to determine if you agree with that or not, because of the market structure. So I'm going to talk to you. It's not on the scanner anymore because it is GU. So I use the scanner, these patterns, as like a signal. All right. So I'm going EN. Right. I jump onto Trading View. Do I want EN? So let me just give you a quick tip. You can actually see it on the scanner. Whenever there's a lot of noise on the left, like this is not a trending market. This is like consolidation. It's just going sideways for a long time. Like stay away. Do not trade in consolidation. All right, they're not your pits. That's definitely a Tyrone Foster saying. They are not. That's not what you want to be involved in. You want to trade with the trend. Okay. So let me jump to GU. Now, last week, GU was on the scanner. Where the blue line is, here, bang, scanner pattern called for a sell. So what I did is I came over to Trading View. So imagine none of this has happened. Yeah, and the market is there. All right, so I zoom out. Yeah, it's calling a sell. So I want to be in a downtrend. So I'm looking for market structure. Okay, so what I can see is the market was bullish. It was a deep retracement, but then it failed here to break this high. Okay, you see that? It came up, came back down, and then we didn't get another new high. Yeah, that's the first sign that the market is done trending. It's about to switch. This is, if you want to get technical, this is called truncation. When the failure swing happens. Okay, I was happy. I was thinking, right, well, what else do I want to see? Well, I want to see a market structure reversal if I'm selling after it's been uptrending. So again, once it hits this high point, the equal high, you see that it was like messing around for ages. It was consolidating. Touched the high, dropped, never got back up. Okay, so that was good. I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't want to be anywhere near it. But what I'm waiting for is this right here to happen. Let me, okay, this is the significant point. When this low, this significant low is broken, and look at the way it was broken. Absolutely hammered through it. Like boom, 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 see you later, retest underneath, and it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. That is a shift in trend. That's a shift in momentum. We have a 618 up here, so you get your fibs. You go from top to bottom. Bang on the 618. First hit, 618. We are laughing. All right, it then pulls down, makes a new structure point, so a higher low. Pumps down again, breaks the low. This is all before looking at where the scanner pattern is. So we've had the market structure reversal, the pullback, the next lower low, the pullback, the lower high, and then it swung back underneath. So again, if you were fooled by the consolidation in here, this is just a larger correction. But what we can see just by looking at this, we can see that the price is moving down. This is giving us a sell moving down. Okay. So first of all, I'm thinking, okay, I'm liking it so far, but I need a few more confirmations to make sure that I am trading with the trend. So first of all, there's 3 ways of determining a trend. The first way is with a trend line. Yeah, trend lines are subjective because we can kind of make it up for ourselves. But technically that line, when you join the dots, that is my trend line. So if it comes up and hits that, I'm looking for a sell, happy days. The second way is if the market is making lower lows, lower highs. Yeah. So it might not follow a trend line. Yeah, you can't connect to the trend, like make it all look pretty, but that's the other way. And then the third and final way is by using fibs, so Fibonacci ratio, which is like a mathematical formation, I guess, that can give you that confidence that you're with the trend. So what did I see when I used my fibs? Well, what I look for is I look for the first hit on the trend and then pull it down to the low and see what this level is, okay? Right, so can you all see that we have bang on that structure? So that lovely little bit of structure in there, that yellow box. We had 1, so it broke the zone, came back up, down, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. Yeah, this structure level is at a 38.2. So right here, I'll put 38.2. Second is I'm looking for, well, what's the fib level from here to here? Because this is another swing in the market. So I'll grab my fibs, do the same again. Wow, we've got a 618. So we've got a 38.2 and a 618 in the same zone, literally on the same yellow box. Like, come on, that's good. You want that. And then third and foremost is these blue numbers on the harmonic scanner. Yeah, wherever you see these blue numbers, they are the Fibonacci extension or retracement levels. So this is a 1618 extension. So in that yellow box, we have a 38.2, a 618, and a 1618. These are all reversal levels. So there's 3 in one spot. When I saw that, I was thinking, it's game time. It hasn't hit the trend line, but it's at structure. I've determined that it's with the trend. That is the secret. Get it with the trend, and you are laughing. All right. So I tick that I've got the trend. I tick that I've got market structure. So I've got the support and resistance. Now, I'd said about divergence. Now, this is where divergence will save you. Okay. If we look at so I've got it marked up here. So divergence from X to D, there isn't any. So X to D on the price is going up, and X to D on the AO is going up. That is not divergence. From B to D, it's doing the same thing. It's going up. This is going over your head. This is all in the videos. It just takes lots and lots of practice. So at this entry point at D, the market started to fall away, but there was no divergence. But can you see what happened here? Now I've done the entries, but I'm just conscious of time. This sold off. You would have got in 3 times, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but you would have been out of 2 positions and only left with 1. So you'd be 2% down. if you trade like me. So I do 1% per trade, and then you'd be left with the last one, which did go off and hit profit 3, but you'd have lost twice unnecessarily. If you wait for the divergence, look at this. All right, you've got a huge peak high. Yeah, we've got another drive into it, another drive into it. They're three, it's like 3 drives, it's like 3 equal highs. But look at the volume. Yeah, those 3 drives didn't have the volume. That is manipulation. That is the banks getting you out before it goes. So if you wait for divergence, that will keep you safe. One of my like absolute go-tos if I want a pretty much a banker, like a guarantee. Can be. So I wouldn't have taken the first trade from here, but if you did, you wouldn't be wrong. I would come in from this point. So let's look at the D point again. Sorry. So going through my confirmations, has the D point, zoom in. All right, has the D point hit the DC channel? So my DC channel is this red line. Boom, it's hit the DC channel. So that's where all I'm looking for is I just want to enter this market. I wouldn't have entered yet because there wasn't divergence, so I'll be waiting for the divergence. The divergence came here. Now I'm looking for entry. I enter on the 15-minute. So I drop down the time frame. Okay, and then what we're looking for is our confirmation candle. So when we're selling, we want a flat top, red candle, where the body is cutting through, where the blue line is cutting through the candle. You see this candle here? That is our confirmation candle. We've got, if you follow the cursor down, we've got a red bar on the AO, red above blue on the Stotch, and then we've got red above blue on the DMI, and the ADX way above the 40. We are in full swing momentum. Right, what I do is a little trick. Is I mark up this candle, really precise by the way, but I won't fiddle around with it now. And that is my entry candle zone. Right, so that's my like safe zone. All right, if the price is anywhere in here, I can enter. So if I see this and I'm late to it and it's still hovering around this price, I can enter. Now my first setup would have been at the close of this candle. So let's just say worst case scenario, it's right at the bottom of the zone. All right, and I'm putting the stop loss above market structure. Market structure is the yellow box. Now the scanner, the way the scanner does the TPs, that's not my TP. I'll adjust in a minute. All right, the scanner does TPs based on fibs. So you go from when you're selling low to high. TP1 is the 38.2, so I come across. It's all just habit of mine now. I get a horizontal ray and I put it across the 38.2. TP2 is the 618. Boom. TP3 is the 100%. Below. And then TP4 is the 127. 127 is the extension. So I get asked this quite a lot. Why do you aim for an extension? Well, if you're with the trend, it should go and take out this low. It should go and make a new low in the market. If you've got the trend right. So my first entry, I aim for TP3. Right, risk reward, what was that? 1 to 6. So I'm risking 1% to make 6. First entry. Right, we're in. Right, second entry is where, I'm going to move this right. Second entry is where the, okay, it's going to annoy me. So look, where the 4 and the 20 cross. So you've got the cross of the 4 and the 20, which is my black line. I do not look for all the other indicators to line up. they 99.9% out of the time are always lining up when these things happen. So I don't even look for it anymore. They cross, the candle closes, I'm in again. So it would have closed on there. Boom. This one, because we're in momentum, I put the stop loss above the entry candle zone, probably above these two wicks. You see these wicks? I just want to clear those wicks. So probably around there. It's about 20 pips. Right, it's the same TP. So I'm now in for 2%. Oh, I caught that one a bit short. Now in for 2%. This one is a 1 to 7 risk reward. So I'm risking 2% to make 13 at the moment. All right, it gets better. Third entry is where the 4 and the 50 cross. The 4 and 50 crossing, the candle closes. We're in again. This one, I put it halfway up the entry candle zone. And I definitely want to, if there's any funniness in here, so if it did consolidate before dropping, I'd put it the same place as I do for entry 2. But because it just fell away, I'll put that midway up. So we've got 26 pips, all right, of a stop loss. This one, I aim for the 127 extension. Boom. Okay. Right, that's rough, but that's good. That's another 1 to 6. We've got a 6, 7, 6. So quick maths, that's 19%. Risking 3%. Risking 3% to make 19. Now, is that a risk you want to take? Hell yeah. It's in a downtrend. We've got divergence, we're at structure, we've got a harmonic scanner pattern, we've got fib levels. I'm in this. This is me. This is what I want to see. So let me just pull this over, because this has all got very bunched up. You can see anyway. But this literally dropped. It gave us a little pullback, the entry candle zone. It may have taken out 3. So look. Yeah, it would have taken out our third entry, I think. Yeah, just here. That happens. It's all good. And then it drops away and runs in the profit. So we've lost 1%, which is that last 6. I'll test my maths. So we're minus 1%. Was it 6, 7, 13? Okay, so this trade, we're up 12% overall. All right, that took all week. So people ask me, like, how often do you trade? Are you trading every day? Are you doing, you know, one a month? I don't know. People ask me all the time how often I trade. I trade what the market gives me. So if it's 1, 2, it depends. It's all about the structure. If it's a setup like that, I'll trade it every day. But these happen probably once a week, maybe once or twice a week, if you're lucky. Alrighty. So I'm just conscious of time because it's now like coming up to 10 past 10. I realize as well that I've been talking for an awful long time. So has anybody got any questions? Does anyone want to pop anything in the chat? Want me to go over anything again? Is there anything you're unsure of? Anything you liked, didn't like? Just please feel free to give me some feedback. All right, I know I went pretty deep in the charts, but hopefully the mindset stuff's landed. There's some stuff in there that hopefully you can all take away. And then you just need to master, absolutely master all of this stuff. You know, the scanner, how the scanner's put together, the strategy inside out, and then journal, remove emotion from the charts, So yeah, that is it. That is it. Pretty. You definitely got some questions. Got to digest it and come back to me. No drama. Right, I'm just going to stop the recording quickly. I've got a question for you all.